Two balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. It's his way back. Welcome on, Chris Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined this morning by Matt Moreno. Matt, another shortstop, another rumor. This time, the Brewers' Willy Adames linked to the Dodgers in some trade rumors. Adames just turned 27, has 2 years of team control left, projected to make around $9.5 million in his second year of arbitration this year. As you dig in on Adames compared to some of the other options at a position of need, what's your first reaction?
I can see why it makes sense for the Dodgers. Like you said, there's multiple years of team control. It's on a team-friendly salary, even if he does, get the expected raise in arbitration as that process sort of continues. But honestly, beyond that, I'm not too big on them potentially, going down this path.
Yeah, I mean, I dug in a little bit. So he's coming off of his best season, 4.7 wins above replacement, 31 home runs. But there's a huge asterisk that comes with that, which is, let's look at the rest of the offensive performance. He hit .238 last season. His on-base percentage was just .298, 109 weighted runs created plus. So we're talking about an above-average offensive player, but not by a ton. For his career, the on-base percentage is right around 300. The batting average is around 260. Home run numbers kind of in that mid-20s range if you're being optimistic. The flip side for him, the plus for Adames is defense. 97th percentile in outs above average. He had 9 defensive runs saved, 10 outs above average. So that's the calling card. Again, offensively, 16th percentile strikeout rate, 24th percentile whiff rate, 47th percentile walk rate. The hard hit and exit velocity stuff is in the 50 to 70 range. So we're not talking about a great offensive player. We're talking about a great defensive player who is slightly above average, I would say, offensively. You're probably looking at about 2 years and $24 million if you just want to project out arbitration this year and next. And so I'm with you. I mean, if Adames was a free agent and the Dodgers were to sign him, sure, like he gives you one thing that he's elite at. That's defense. He's a guy that, of all the guys we're talking about, is probably the most likely to be a long-term option at shortstop defensively. But I just think compared to some of these other guys, Matt, compared to the prospect cost that it would take to acquire Adames, the 2 for 24 is a good deal, obviously. But then what he gives you offensively and defensively, that combination, I'm not too excited either.
Yeah, and that's where it stands for me too, as well as, what is it going to take for the Dodgers to trade for him? I don't imagine, like, the Brewers aren't just going to, give up on him and say, sure, we'll take maybe a high A guy and a low A guy. At least I don't think so.
No.
And so if that's not the case, then I agree. Like, you need to weigh, which prospects are the Dodgers needing to trade. I guess if it's not likely, every indication so far continues to be Aaron Judge is either going to re-sign with the Yankees or go to the Giants. And so it's not as if maybe the Dodgers are, really in the thick of that. At least it doesn't appear to be the case. And so, maybe they spend their money on Judge and then use prospect capital to go a little bit of the defensive route at shortstop, which I think if that's how it were to end up shaking out would be fine. But if it's, we don't re-sign Trey, obviously, and if the Dodgers don't, get Bogarts or something, and they just say, "Hey, we're going with Willy Adames at shortstop instead," and not really getting a premier hitter to add to the lineup, I think that's where they may run into some trouble, and that's even with hopefully counting on Max Muncy to turn things around. And I mean, Justin Turner is still out there as a free agent as well. If he's back and he hits to his potential, Chris Taylor. I mean, I think too many question marks a little with the lineup that for me to want to gamble on kind of a more defensive-minded shortstop like Willy Adames.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think all these things are going to happen in tandem with one another. If they do go out and get a Judge, then my view on going and trading for Adames, saving some money to get a guy who, again, is better than the options that they have internally if you're just comparing player to player, and the cost isn't crazy because he's got 2 years in arbitration left. So I like it in that regard. But yeah, if they're going to go sort of the mid-tier range in the outfield to plug some holes out there, then I would want them to go after a more premier player at shortstop. And to your point about the prospect cost, I mean, everybody's guessing when it comes to trade stuff, but I was reading one website that was like, I mean, it's probably going to be a Gavin Lux type or even a Bobby Miller, Gavin Stone type guy that would have to headline a deal to go get Adames. And to me, that's a non-starter. I mean, Lux, maybe that would be an interesting one because you're swapping like for like, but I'm not so sure if I have to trade away one of my top pitching prospects to go get a guy like Willy Adames. I'm not too excited about it. last question here, Matt. I'm curious. So of all the shortstop options out there, and I'll just sort of the ones that we know of, let me put it that way. Obviously, you've got the free agents. So you've got Trey, you've got Correa, you've got Bogarts, you've got Dansby Swanson. And then the internal option of a guy like Gavin Lux just sliding over and playing shortstop. Where does Adames rank amongst those 5 for you? I mean, is he at the bottom of the list? Like, it's like, all right, if it's this or Gavin Lux is my starting shortstop, I'd trade for Adames. Do you like him better than Dansby Swanson? Where are you at on that front?
I think I'd probably place him third. I think my preference is probably to just re-sign Trey.
Okay.
After that, I think Bogarts is definitely an interesting candidate. I know we have a video up on him that you did with Blake and Daniel, kind of diving into some of his numbers, and I think there's an interesting case to be made for him.
Yeah.
Then I think I would put Adames third. Him and Dansby Swanson maybe are interchangeable, and what would be the deciding factor for me is what type of contract it would take to get Dansby Swanson. Because like I said on one of our other videos, I don't necessarily view him in the top tier of those free agent shortstops. Yeah. I know he may be looking to get paid like one, and if that's what it's going to take, like I don't know if the Dodgers should go down that path. But yeah, so I would have Adames pretty much, third or fourth in my list.
Yeah, I think I'm similar. I think I'd prefer Dansby because I think Dansby and Adames are actually very similar. Like when you look at their profiles, I mean, Dansby, you could argue maybe has a higher ceiling because the year he just put together was also his best year and it was better than Adames's best year. Dansby is a little bit older. I think both guys are solid defensively. Adames probably a little bit better. I think Dansby maybe as far as his approach on base percentage, that type of thing, which we know the Dodgers value, probably a better fit. So if you're telling me, like, would I rather have a 5-year contract with Dansby Swanson for like $22-24 million or Willy Adames for 2 for 24, but then I got to trade Gavin Stone in order to get him? Like, I'm not so sure. I wouldn't prefer Dansby Swanson. I would probably prefer Adames to Lux just because of the fit, but I don't think there's a huge gap between those two. And I know I'm the high man on Gavin Lux at shortstop, which is not I'm not saying that it's a high thing. Like I view him highly. I think I'm the only guy that wouldn't be slamming his head into a wall if that's where the Dodgers landed at the end of the offseason. But it's just interesting. Again, Adames, a name we've heard kind of people say, what about Adames? What about Adames? Well, they're officially linked in rumors. And, when I dig in, I'm with you. It's not the most exciting move in the world. Again, the headline for him is elite defensively, slightly above average offensively, coming off of his best season, much like Dansby Swanson. He is a little bit younger. Again, just turned 27, cheaper. So those are the things that are positives for the Dodgers. If they're serious about getting under the luxury tax, this might be the type of move that they're going to make. So let us know what you guys think below. Again, I'm curious. After seeing the Bogarts video we posted and now seeing this one, where does Willy Adames rank amongst those ones? For Matt and I, he's closer to the bottom than he is to the top, but let us know what you think below. That's Matt Moreno. My name is Jeff Spiegel. As always, thanks for joining us. Of course, DodgerBlue.com. Make sure you're checking that out because they got all the latest news and rumors and updates. Dodger Blue 1958 on social media. And of course, right here on YouTube, subscribing the notification bell. Because if there is a trade, if there is a signing, we'll have it for you here first. Again, enjoy the rest of your day. As always, go Dodgers.